Oh dear. Should have really thought about this. Oh well. Hopefully everybody can hear me alright. Evening Kim, evening Hippie if you can. Give us a wave if you can hear us alright. Fingers crossed everything's fine. Hopefully. I swear to God if this is another issue. Sweet, no problem. Yeah, I don't know if it's just my internet at the moment. I think going forward I'll have to commandeer the lobby to somebody else if I'm going to stream like we have done in the past, because I don't think it's handling it quite too well. But we shall press on for the meantime anyway, and hopefully it's not bad on everybody else's end. But with that said, welcome everybody to the opening round of the GRT season, well, GRT, Gr4 season 4. Very much looking forward to this. Yeah, it looks like it's on my end. Damn it. Yeah, I should have thought about this as well. Is anybody else going to be able to host the lobby tonight? Instead, I probably should have fact-checked this first, but see, it wasn't actually bad last week. Surprising, but might have to have somebody else keep charge of the lobby, at least for tonight anyways, and then going forward hopefully should be fine as well. That's not done. Cool, that's that one done. Right, cool. Let's get this thing a-rolling, shall we? So, as you can see on the screen here, that is Jason, who is subbing in for Rocketman tonight. Unfortunately, he's not able to make it, so he's subbing in for Rocketman tonight. And we also have, I believe there's a Wrighton. Yep, Wrighton in the other Mustang. Doesn't have the livery, the same livery, so hopefully we'll sort that out for next week. Looks like we have Danny coming out on the track now as well in the purple and green 86. Hang on. I am definitely appearing online. Just trying to sort out a few more issues as well. Apparently Gad can't see the lobby. Mikey's wondering what time the racing is. But we shall be holding off for a little bit anyway until everything is sorted. Yeah, I know it is. It's not the stream that I believe is choppy. It's just because I'm hosting the lobby and the stream at the same time. So as I say, is anybody else able to host the lobby tonight? I'll say again. Yeah, because you can't race like that. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but there's no point in us racing like that. No, Gad's in now, Kim. Should be fine. Gad's just found the room. He was just probably being an idiot, as usual. Evening, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, this is... bloody rig. Right. Thank you, Crazy. Hopefully he's just saved the settings. Say all the settings. So hopefully it should be fine. Yeah, it's just not behave. It doesn't look like it's behaving. With me hosting both the lobby and the stream, to be honest. So. Cool. Come on, stop chatting so it can exit. Stop chatting. Stop chatting. Right. Right, there we go. Hopefully the connection's a bit better to this one. and hopefully it runs a lot smoother so we can all actually enjoy the action apart from actually hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday and a lovely weekend, by the way. It's currently absolutely pissing it down where we are. Moment of truth. Ah, look at how much smoother it is. Slightly, I guess. I mean, it's a lot smoother, but it's not great. Wonder if it's because I'm streaming in 1080. Bit odd, to be fair, because again, it's still really choppy. I don't know why. For some reason it's not like... Hang on. There's Hippie as well. Still seems very choppy on my end. I don't know if that's just because it's my internet currently, or... It's still a bit choppy, like. Good morning, Gad? Are you currently in Australia at the moment? So I have a few guys readied up as it is. Who's in here at the moment then? So we've got Gad and Hippie, who's in. We've got Wrighton and Jason, who's filling in for Mike. We've got Creasy and Jed's not racing tonight. Mikey and Nick are in. We've got Danny, but no Julian tonight, and we've got Rob as well, who is currently, I'm guessing, currently trying to get in the lobby as well. And apart from that, oh, it's Creasy, Rob. You'll have to send him an invite, a friend request even. It's this guy, Creasy. Greasy745. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in the racing tonight. Again, it's still a bit choppy. I'm not liking this, like. For some reason it's still choppy. I might just have to stream at a lower quality in the future. But again, it wasn't this bad last week. So I'm wondering what's wrong, because I've got no downloads on the go. No. A mystery. Mysteries upon mysteries. So I guess we'll see. You can still see there that they're still a bit shaky. Oh well. Should still be good regardless. So currently at the moment, in terms of times, looks like Jace is setting the timing boards alight for the moment. Nick in second place on the McLaren. Creasy in that mighty Corvette. Gad in the Jag setting his first few laps. Mikey in the other McLaren. Danny in the 86 who just came out the pits, and Wrighton as well. So just waiting for Rob to get into the lobby now. Yeah, it's just a bit odd, Rob, because it wasn't like this last week. Oh yeah, I should probably check the settings. tyre wear is on. Why did Creasy not just save the lobby before he opened it? Fastest first. Creasy, he had one job. To be honest, Creasy really should have just saved the settings of the lobby before creating this one, and then it would have been fine. Hey-ho. Because that should non, yes. Flag rule should be off. Ghosting during racing should be off as well. Oh well. We'll deal with it. And it's grid start with false check as well. So what are the things we need to change? Grid start with false check. Visible damage off. That's off, yeah. Real. Prohibited. Ghosting during race. Let's have a quick look. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. That should be set. Well, I was going to say that should be set to same as race, not off. Yeah, so they should be on for quali. Grid start with false check. Ghosting settings are fine, and then quali continuation times should be set for longer as well, so people have a chance to get round. Cool. Sweet. God damn it. Right. Everybody in for who is competing. So we've got out of the 11 who we should have competing, I believe there's 8 plus Jason. So we've got Julian who couldn't be here, Jed who couldn't be here, and So we've got 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, so it's just Julian and Jed who couldn't be here, and Jason is filling in for Mike. May as well just start this as it. Yes, as hopefully everybody is doing alright tonight. Thanks, Paul. Hope you have a nice evening as well. So see now, Creasy. So you can see Jason putting the power of that Mustang to good use. The McLaren actually is a surprisingly quick car. You just really have to get the lines spot on if you want the best lap time around this particular layout. You see Rob there in the roaring M4. Writing in the other, bit more crude Mustang, must be said. Oh, and I will say this now as well, while everybody's here, that we will be postponing next week's until the week after for obvious reasons as well. So I know to obviously extend it by another week, but with the Euros final being next week, yeah, it's just going to be better for everybody if we postpone it for next week specifically, and then after that, fingers crossed, we should hopefully have a free schedule after the entirety of that, so we can actually get on and complete the GR4 league rather than I'm doing a bit of recruiting now. No probs. Right, here we go as the qualifier gets underway. "12 minutes of qualifying. Let's get it underway, shall we? You can see a mix of drivers going on for the mediums and soft sets of tyres right now. See who's the first to come out the pits here. Looks like it's going to be Creasy, the host advantage, treating him well. The slipstream will be very useful for a lot of these drivers. It is, of course, more than allowed for this. To see the first few drivers coming across the lake section. Again, very short lap times around here, so any little errors will cost them big time. The fewer mistakes, the better around here. So see both Creasy and Rob darting at the pits now. as Mikey goes on for his first flying lap. First one across the line. He will be the first one to set his time, with Nick, his teammate, following quite close behind there. So you can see Gard as well, going third across the line, followed closely by Jason, and we have Hippie just behind him as well. Looks like he's slowing up a little bit there just to give himself as much room as possible. We have both Creasy and Rob coming out the pits. Looks like we have Danny coming in for a pit stop there, as well as Wrighton now comes out of the pits to start his run of qualifying. As you see Mikey coming around the final corner here, what will be the benchmark time to beat? Coming roaring across the line now, and it is a 53.178 for Mikey. Let's have a look to see who else is going to be closer. Teammate comes across the line with a 52, Gard comes across with a 53, Jason with a 52, Hippie with a 53.3. Really shaking up the order there. Nick managing to go quickest with a 52 there. Jason very close behind him, and Gard very close behind him as well. Top three positions very close at this point, and again every millisecond counts around this layout, as it will be very close between all of these drivers here. Mikey not too far off either, as both Creasy and Hippie look to set their first flying laps as well. So they all come around the final couple of corners here. Try to cut that as much as possible, avoid the wall on the outside. Have a look as Nick comes down the final corner. Is Mikey going to improve? Doesn't look like he quite manages to improve on this lap. Nick thundering towards the line now, with Gard, Jason and Hippie all close by. Gard manages to improve, and Jason also manages to improve. Hippie manages to move up in the second place as well. Good lap by Hippie. Only 0.1 of a second behind, as Creasy comes across the line now to take first place, and who's then immediately displaced by Rob, who just manages to go a slight bit quicker with the 52.4, just beating out Creasy's time by 0.03 of a second there. See, as you can see, Hippie now actually going for a fresh set of soft tyres. Actually a bit of a mistake there from Hippie early on, as the fuel will now continuously reset, so he won't be on the lower fuel for the rest of his stint there. A little bit of a mistake there must have been by Wrighton for a 55. Danny sets in his fastest time of the race, just pipping out Mikey and Gard there, who's now sits himself in 5th place. Very good around the corners, the 86, but will be caught out on the straights. Will be able to carry a lot of momentum around this track, but will need the slipstream in order to stay with the rest of the pack throughout the entirety of both races here. Coming around the final corner now, Wrighton using the slipstream to his advantage, but as he comes into the pits now, let's have a look as Danny comes across the line. Looks like Mikey also comes in for a fresh set of tyres. Not managed to improve on that lap. To have a quick look around and see a couple of people, Creasy and Rob, coming around the final corner now. The Corvette quite quick in a straight line, as we see Rob pulling off into the pits behind him there. Will he manage to improve? No, not quite. Looks like the fresher tyres are needed for a bunch of these guys now. See Jason and it looks like Nick coming around the final corner as somebody else looks to come across to the line now. It looks like Gard, will he manage to improve? Not quite yet. Not managed to improve a lot. Nick and Jason come across the line, but looks like they're actually going to be starting their flying laps here. You see Nick getting out the way of Jason there, just managing to use the slipstream to his advantage now. Again, very little time separates all of these guys as Jason goes purple around the first sector, coming around the penultimate corner. Will he manage to keep it out the wall? Ooh, looks like he might have just got a little bit too excited there on the exit and just compromises his exit into the final corner there. Does he come up on the run to the line now? Will he manage to beat his time? No, he is slower by 1/10 of a second there. That last couple of corners really hindering his performance there. And not managing to quite get the time he's looking for. Oh, as you can see, he goes very wide at the first corner as well. Does he manage to carry the speed? No, he's aborting that lap as well. So, as we see now, Nick passing him. Coming through over the lake section now. Lost about 1/10.5 there. Through this first sector. Does he manage to nail the last corner? Yes, he does. Getting as close to the wall as possible, taking as tight a line as possible, as well as Wrighton manages to improve, but unfortunately not able to move up any places here. Still a little bit of time behind Mikey now, and hopefully he doesn't get caught up by one of the 86s in front who's just came out of the pits. As Danny pulls off to the side there to let Wrighton go. Will he manage to improve on this lap? He does considerably, couple tenths up. Will he manage to make these last couple corners stick? And less than a second separates the entire field. But you can see Rob actually managing to extend his lead ever so slightly over Creasy. Now up to 0.13 seconds rather than the 300 separating them before. And don't forget, Rob will be starting on the medium compounded tyres compared to the rest of the grid. We'll have to see how that affects it later in the race, as we see Wrighton coming across the line there, again bettering his time, but not quite able to make any headway on the rest of the field. You can see a bit of a wide line coming through the first corner there. The Mustang looks to be suffering from quite a lot of understeer coming across the sections there, as we have a bunch of new times come in there. Nick managing to improve his time but not managing to move up any places. Creasy managing to extend his lead but then also getting it smashed back down by Jason behind him, as Hippie now also moves into 4th place as he comes into the pits again, not able to utilise that fuel. You have to remember, with the fuel and tyres being on for qualifying, the less fuel you have, the quicker you will go. So Hippie is missing out on them couple extra tenths that will secure him a better place at the moment. But we have to remember, Hippie's never a one for qualifying. He's always the one for a race. And the same with his teammate Gad, who looks to be maybe starting on the medium tyres at this stage of the race. Maybe looking to go a bit of the distance early on, and then use them soft tyres to the advantage later in the race. So you can see Danny there very close to Hippie now, as well as actually Jason manages to move 0.07 of a second ahead of Rob. Incredibly close margins between all of these guys here. Managing to set the fastest time with a 52.327. Very good lap by Jason there, just managing to pip out Rob, and I think he's using the slipstream that the Corvette is supplying in front of him to great effect now. And it looks like will he be pulling into the pits on this lap? Looks like he doesn't get quite as good as an exit, but he is in the slipstream of that Corvette. That might prove very useful for Jason. Coming across the final corner now. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a touch on the wall there, but the slipstream should hopefully carry him through. What will this time be for Jason? A great time there by Jason. That slipstream helping out massively for a 52.1. Ooh, bit of contact there between the two. Really don't want to do that at this stage. Might be an idea to put on a fresh set of tyres and then go out for one final lap. So you can see Creasy there just getting tangled up there. Bit of a late move by Jason, and hopefully be able to start. Ooh, as you see Creasy there actually managing to clip the wall there, but he will need one extra run now. So you can see Rob just on a slightly worn set of tyres now, coming across the line, shifting up in that magical 7th gear that it provides, and Wrighton managing to better his time quite considerably there with a 52.7, and actually manages to move up into 6th place, moving ahead of Gad, Nick and Danny now. Great job by Wrighton in this late stage of the qualifying to move himself up the rest of the field. It sounds like the authorities are coming from me. Say, police helicopter goes up ahead of me. Do you mind? We're trying to race. Anyways, we come into the last minute of the qualifying session. Looks like Jason has had enough. He's packed it in. He's done enough at this stage, and apparently he's on a purple sector. Don't know how that's happened. He's only sitting in the pits. So you see Rob coming across the line now. Will he be able to better his time? No. Looks like no slipstream. Hasn't worked to his advantage this time around, and he's going for one last hurrah now. So you see a bunch of these guys coming across the line. Will there be any improvement for these guys? Doesn't look to be it. As Danny looks to have had his last hurrah as well. Is there anybody else who's going to be on a flying lap now? Looks like Hippie is going to be packing it in as well. He's now switched to the medium tyres, so it looks like a lot of these guys are calling it early. Creasy now pulling up to the line as well. Is there anybody else left who can challenge it? It looks like Wrighton just gets a bit wrong on the exit there, but it doesn't look like he's on a lap anyway, as he's on very worn soft tyres now. Is there going to be any last heroics from anybody? As you can see, Gr4 going around on the medium tyres. He's not going to be able to get any more laps in. As you can see, Nick on the medium tyres there. Mikey maybe with one last run coming up to the line. He looks like he's going to be the only one to set another lap. Will he be able to improve his time? No, not quite, as Mikey comes across the line there. Unfortunate for Mikey, he doesn't manage to improve there. Only a 10th off his teammate. And maybe both Nick and Mikey just trying to get to grips with the McLaren at this early stage of the championship. And again, not a course best suited for the McLaren. It does like a bit of both worlds with the corners and the long straight as well. And that's the end of the qualifying session there. Looks to be everybody is set their laps. Great job from Jason, Rob and Creasy taking the 1, 2 and 3rd place slots. Hippie not too far behind, but 3/10 of a lap. That extra fuel really hindering him on them extra laps. And then we have Danny in 5th, Wrighton in 6th, Gr4 in 7th, Nick in 8th and Mikey in 9th. Whew. Getting used to this whole commentating business again. The qualifying's manic, trying to commentate over that, but thank you very much, Kim. Really appreciate it. But don't say that too early though. I still have to commentate over 2 races before the qualifying. It's only the qualifying that's done so far. So here we go. Jason starting on pole. Oh, looks like Danny might have jumped the start there slightly. Gr4 just getting out of the way, and a bit of tyre smoke, and away we go. And it looks like Rob has managed to get a brilliant start on the outside there, coming into T1. Will he manage to mount a challenge on the outside of the Mustang there? Side by side coming through T1 between Rob and Jason. Jason looks to just manage to hold on for now. Creasy managing to defend his position in 3rd place ahead of Hippie. And then Wrighton managing to... Ooh, big battle there. Gr4 really managing to move up a couple places as well off the start line. The Jag very good off the start as well, and both him and Hippie looking to move up some considerable places in the early stage of this race. Wrighton managing to hold on to his 6th place, but he's now being challenged by Nick. Wrighton looks to have started on the medium set of tyres as well, and Nick is also on the medium tyres, so good job from Nick there to get ahead of Wrighton in this early stage. However, Wrighton will maybe come back at him. This is 4th position. None of these drivers have the benefit of the correct strategy. Oh, looks like a bit of contact there. Bit of a mistake by Wrighton. But I think that's just the suspension of this track playing havoc with the cars. It is really not nice coming out of... into T1. A massive jump by them cars there. And it looks like that little incident has unfortunately put them out of slipstream range of the pack in front. Devastating for these 2 drivers now, as we see the top 5 drivers now nose to tail. Really trying to make the most of this here, as we see Jason now just pulling alongside Rob. Looks like Creasy might be playing it safe, as we have a quick onboard look in the T1. So you see Creasy, look at the overspeed that Creasy has at this early stage of the race. Managing to get past Jason. Oh, bit too wide coming into the corner there though. Taps the wall on his outside, but actually manages to get quite a nice exit on both Rob and Jason. Jason on the inside of Rob now, coming out of T1, but looks like Rob might have a little bit more overspeed because of the traction. But again, it looks like Crazy is just managing to slip in behind, and he's not wanting to bunt draft just yet. Jason just still on the inside there. Rob managing to sneak around the outside of Crazy, and it is really to and fro between these guys now. Rob now on the inside of Jason after managing to get the cutback and making that work for him, but Crazy is just biding his time at the moment, short shifting a lot and just saving that bit more fuel now at this early stage of the race. Good stuff by these three drivers. Really have broken away from the rest of the pack now and using that to their advantage. Now you can see Hippie now managing just to pull out a bit of a gap towards Nick and his teammate now. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he's making quite as much headway as he would like to on the top three at the moment. Nick with some blistering pace early on in the McLaren, managing to get past Gad in the Jaguar there. Two of the British manufacturers duking it out. And it is nice to see both the McLaren and the Jag on track in a championship yet again. Looks like Hippie managed to just missing in the wall there, timed that to perfection. As we start to see the benefit of the fuel and tyres now at this stage. It looks like pretty much everybody is actually on the medium set of tyres, apart from Danny now in last place, but look at the ground he's managed to make up after that start. Looks like Jason just goes a bit wide but manages to keep it off the wall there. Great run by Jason there through the first corner, flinging the car past over the lake section now. Hard on the brakes to the penultimate corner. Take as much of the road as you dare coming out of the penultimate corner there, and it looks like Rob managed to get a very nice run on Jason now. Doesn't look like he'll be quite close enough to catch him before the first corner, but he is still crucially in the slipstream. And the 7th gear playing really nicely into Rob's hands now as he sets the fastest lap of the race. And now both of these guys actually managing to make some room on Crazy now, who has just managed to fall slightly behind these two in that Corvette. So you see a big battle from the guys behind as well. Nick managing to move up into 5th place. Let's have a quick look at that coming into T1. So you can see Nick actually managing to pass on the straight there, and Gard slipping up the inside of Hippie now. Hippie not having as much of the early pace, but you can see there he's actually managing to make a move on his teammate coming into there. And you can see the battle still continues there. Now Gard right up the back of Nick. Hippie in hot pursuit and right in the background there, just managing to make up some time, and now is also back in the slipstream of these guys here. Great stuff from Wrighton there to catch back up to the middle pack of this race. As you can see, both Jason and Rob still battling it out. Jason going a bit defensive into the first corner there. Rob hounding him from behind there, managing to take the inside line. And yet again, let's have a quick look at the battle behind as well. Nick manages to keep his 4th place against the charging Jags of Gard and Hippie behind. I do like the colour combo of the pink and green in both of these Jag cars as well. Very nice and aesthetically pleasing. Again, hard on the brakes into the penultimate corner. Ooh, looks like might have been a bit of contact there between Gad and Nick. Nick unfortunately just clips the wall there. Unfortunately, looks like he clips both Hippie and Gad in the processor, and Wrighton capitalises by slotting into the slipstream there. Has actually managed to take away 5th place out of all of this. This middle pack now 3 seconds behind the leaders. Again, not a huge distance, but it is crucial in these stages of the race. As you can see, Wrighton now moves to the inside of Nick. Nick just squeezing Wrighton onto the inside there, but Wrighton having none of it, and manages to carry that bit more momentum. But again, Nick's still there on the outside. Ooh, looks like Nick goes out very wide coming into the lake section there, and that allows both Hippie and Gard to capitalise majorly as they slot around the outside there. Gard looking to make a move on the inside of his teammate, flashing the lights there on the controller as he pulls hard left on the controller there. Good stuff from all these guys in the mid pack as well. And it looks like Crazy's actually managed to catch back up to Rob and Jason here in front. Bit of a trail brake from Jason on the way in. You can tell he's not applying the brake fully coming into T1, just managing to carry that little bit more momentum, which is saving him out of the run out of T1 here. Coming across into the lake section once again, very close nose to tail from all three of these guys, could go either way as Jason sets the purple sector 1. Ooh, looks like Rob just gets a bit wide coming into that section. Looks like Creasy might have a bit of a run here, but Jason just unfortunately losing that bit of momentum on the exit of the corner. And Rob and Creasy again just nose to tail, keeping him interested here. Let's have a quick look behind as now Wrighton has now slipped up into 4th place now. And that mistake from Nick really costing him at this point. Hippie on the inside of Wrighton now. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the two. Don't think too much can be avoided by that though. It is literally just the elevation change of this track, and Wrighton manages to get a lovely cutback move on Hippie and slots himself back up into 4th place. But two very high power cars of the Mustang and the Jaguar, two of the fastest cars in a straight line in the GR4 category. So it'll be very interesting to see which has the legs over each other. So you can see Hippie actually getting an amazing run out of penultimate corner. Wrighton goes wide there not to hold him up any further. They know that any time wasted here is time that is lost on the leaders. So very smart driving by both the Geordie runners here today. See Gad and Nick also nose to tail. Nick just maybe having a little bit of a sniff on the inside of Gad there. As we come up to the 10-minute mark of this race, it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys make any early pit stops at this stage. Again, any time spent on the soft tyres will be time gained over the rest of these guys, but you have to wonder the effect of not having slipstream is a big factor there, as Gad actually clips the inside wall out of the penultimate corner, and that allows Nick to slide on through, and both of them losing quite considerable time to both Wrighton and Hippie in front, who are now working together. And as I say that as well, Gad comes into the pits to get off their medium tyres as soon as possible. However, you have to wonder as well what the fuel situation is like. As I sneeze my entire organs out there, as you see both Danny and Gad coming into the pits. Danny actually saving quite a bit more fuel over Gad there, so it'll be interesting to see if he can actually catch back up, and maybe the two of these work together in order to create a good partnership between these two. So you can see Gad now coming out the pits, and you can see it's actually nose to tail. Both Gad and Danny coming out the pits at exactly the same time there. You can see the benefit, the more grippy, lighter and also more fuel efficient GT86 actually playing in very handy there over the big beefy Jag. And you can see how much time Danny has managed to gain. And although he may be on the medium tyres, he can really use the slipstream of that big Jag in front and hopefully try and catch up to the rest of the field here, as we see Nick now pulling into the pits as well. Be interesting to see where he comes out compared to Gad and Danny behind. Comes in with slightly more fuel than Gad, but less fuel than Danny. And there he goes, coming out of the pit lane now. Very interesting there, and it looks like Nick has actually managed to gap both Gad and Danny quite considerably there, as he also goes onto the set of the soft tyres. As we see now, a lot of these guys wanting to make the jump now. Creasy managing his fuel very well as well, actually managing to save even more fuel than Nick before him. And Wrighton, you can see the difference there, revving the absolute shit out of that Stang on the early part of this race, and will have to have a lot more time refueling the car, and this will put him down quite considerably in terms of lap time here. So you can see Creasy now, where will he come out compared to the rest of the field? You can see the other guys rounding the final corner and just coming across the line now. Creasy with a substantial gap to the rest of the field there. and also has a couple laps extra fresher tyres on them softs. Good stuff by Creasy there, just holding his position for the moment. So you can see a few of these guys really looking to extend their time on these medium tyres, maybe just going for a little bit extra on the mediums so the softs will be even more effective later on in the race. You can see how much, wow, Mikey really using all of his fuel there, coming in with 1 litre of fuel to spare. But again, remember, he will be going on to the softer compound tyres. As you can see, most of the drivers coming around the penultimate corner, coming through the final corner as well. It looks like there might have been a little bit of contact at the back there. Somebody looks to have gone to the wall, might have been right in there, just getting in the wall. Coming out of that final corner, as they see, actually Danny there, actually losing a bit of time, so it might have been Danny who was in the wall. As you can see, where is Mikey going to be able to come out? He's still refueling. Oh, it's unfortunately a really long stop for Mikey now. And it looks like all of that time the undercut has worked beautifully for the rest of these guys. As it looks like as both the two leaders, both Jason and Rob, come in at the same time. And it looks like Jason has actually managed to save a lot more fuel than Rob at this stage. So it might be able to break his slipstream early on. But remember, these guys will both be, again, playing for position, being on them softer tyres. And you can imagine these guys actually coming out quite a bit ahead of the rest of the field here. As you say that though, as I say, Creasy is now coming along the pit straight, coming across the start line. Where will these guys end up? So you can see Jason coming out the pits now. So you can see Creasy coming into T1. He's actually managed to get the undercut on Jason. A great move by Creasy there, and he inherits first position. Great stuff there by Creasy. Great couple of outlaps there, and managed to put the pace down, put that rubber where it mattered, and managing to get himself into first place. But however, he has not managed to break the slipstream there. But you can see actually how much time Rob is now lost. He's now battling with both Ryan and Gad. A remarkably long stop there from Rob, maybe overfueling there quite considerably now. As you can see, the massive amount of time that Rob gained on the earlier stint has actually put him right back down. I think he really has overfueled at this stage of the race, as he's now got almost a full tank of fuel with only 10 minutes left of the race. Unfortunate misstep there by Rob, and that is going to cost him some serious points. So you can see the only man to have not pitted at this stage of the race, the man, the myth, the legend, Hippie. Will he pull into the pits now? No, he's still going for it. I wonder, well, he definitely won't be able to get the one stop in right now, but he's going as long as he can on their set of mediums with some clear air. And let's see if it works out for him now. Again, I might have wanted to go onto the softer tyres a little bit earlier than he has done, but he's managing to get the time in quite considerably now. He's not losing too much time to the rest of the guys around him, but I would kind of suggest pitting in now in order not to lose any more time on the rest of the guys behind him, as he actually sets in a great first sector there, in his fastest sector of the race so far. And will he now pit? Looks like he's staying low. And yes, it looks like Hippie is coming into the pits now. Will a lead of 24 seconds be enough? I don't think it will be, but it will be very interesting now to see where he comes out to the rest of the guys behind him, as you see Nick actually opening up a 2.5 second gap to the rest of the pack behind him. Rob battling with both Gad and Wrighton now. As you see, Gad just goes a little bit wide there coming into the penultimate corner. Wrighton manages to slide on through the inside there, as you can see. Both Creasy and Jason there, teammates from the Super Formula League last season. As Hippie now comes out the pits, he inherits third place for now, but how long will that last? Nick slides around the outside of Hippie there, just managing to get that little bit extra of a run on Hippie there. And let's have a quick replay of that one, shall we? So you can see actually Nick just managing to get a bit of overspeed there and sliding around the outside of Hippie there. Great move by Creasy there. and has now inherited 3rd place for the moment. However, Hippie does have quite a few more laps, fresher tyres when compared to Nick, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out now. As you can see now, Rob actually managing to move up a little bit of a gap between Gad and Wrighton behind. Gad and Wrighton really going for it in this stage of the race. But you can see how much time both Wrighton and Gad have managed to make up in the slipstream of Rob when he doesn't have any in front. But again, Rob making the most of the grippy M4, making up ground in the corners. You can actually see now Hippie has actually managed to pull back ahead of Nick. Let's see if we can see what happened there. No, it looks like he's actually passed him at T1. Good move there from Hippie to get back past Nick, but again, he will still be in that slipstream. So it looks like Hippie is actually taking a lot more fuel at this stage of the race, so I wonder if Nick will actually have to fuel save a little bit at the later stage of this race in order to make sure he doesn't run out of fuel on the line. And a great exit by Hippie there, managing to gap Nick at this stage of the race. You see now as well, Rob actually managing to pull a little bit more of a gap on both Gad and Wrighton behind, breaking the slipstream there. Ooh, but it looks like Rob actually gets it a little bit wrong coming out of the final corner there. Sorry, on the pull the corner, coming out of the final corner now. And it looks like he might have been able to pull back into the slipstream range of the M4 in front. I think you see the time coming down considerably on that straight. He's definitely in slipstream range now, and Rob cannot shake these two at the moment. And time is running out for Rob to try and get back up in front. As you can see, Hippie now again managing to just pull a little bit more of a gap on his rival Nick behind. And it's a great start to the championship for both these drivers at the moment. But again, still 5 minutes left in this race. And again, Hippie there with an excellent exit there out of the penultimate corner, sweeping around the long left-hander onto the pit straight. Not allowing Nick to catch back up at all. We can see now Gad actually coming straight up to the back of Rob. As you can see now, Gad just short shifting a bit. He pulls to the inside. Will he potentially make this move on Rob? He looks like Rob has gone very wide there into T1. Gad opting to take the inside line now for a better run, but it looks like Rob again has the momentum coming out of the first corner as they come into sector 2 now, coming over the lake bridge. Gad just has a bit more overspeed, and Wrighton is looking to pick up any scraps here. All three of them hard on the brakes there, not wanting to make any contact with each other. All of them just avoid the wall on the outside there. And it looks like both Gad and Wrighton will have an excellent run on Rob coming into T1 this time around. And it looks like it might actually be 3 wide coming into T1. Gad pulls to the left on the inside line there, managing to get the jump on Rob. And it looks like Wrighton's actually managed to put a slight nose in front of Rob as well. Hugging the inside line is the Mustang there. Gad looking to just defend his line, and he has kept his 5th place for now. Rob just managing to again use the overspeed and the outside line of the corner to his advantage, and he now sweeps to the inside, just again all over the back of Gad, just trying to force him into a mistake. And an excellent exit by Rob again. It slots back into the slipstream of the big Jag in front. As you can see now as well, both Jason and Creasy just working together. Again, former teammates, they have that respect for each other. But again, it's going to be no holds barred come the final couple of laps there. As you can see, Hippie now has also managed to gap Nick slightly and has managed to pull out of slipstream range. That is crucial to try and securing him that podium position. Nick just falling a bit behind, but this is where the action is for 5th place between 5th, 6th and 7th. The battle between all 3 different manufacturers here and 3 different teams and cars. You have Gad just pulling onto the inside, coming up to the penultimate corner, just getting a little bit early on the brakes there just to make sure he gets that run through. But look at the grip from the M4 from Rob. And Wrighton managing to use the slipstream of the M4 in front to his advantage there as we come up to the final 2 minutes of the race. So you can see now Wrighton just pulling up to the inside there. Will he manage to get the jump? So you can see Wrighton now hard on the brakes into T1. The suspension really just upsetting coming into the T1. You can see the blistering and the amount of tyres that the Mustang has gone through at this stage of the race. The Mustang really not good on tyres, and you can see how much more grip and speed both Gad and Rob are able to pull back on Wrighton here, and he's having to really slow through the corners there, and you can see how much time all 3 of these guys are losing right now. And that is that. And I believe that might have actually been a mistake from Nick in front. Let's have a quick look. No, Nick just very slow coming out of the final couple corners there. And he, I wonder, has he underfueled? Nick really backing off the pace now, maybe realising that he's got 2 more laps to go. Disaster maybe for Nick at this late stage of the race, as he might have gone a bit too much on the fuel, and now realising that he has 1 more lap to complete, and has now brought him back into the play. Disaster for Nick after having such a good run at this stage of the race, but he might still be in it here. But look at the short shifts, and Rob is now using that to his advantage and managing to get in the slipstream of the McLaren there and pulling him away from both Gard and Wrighton behind him. That might have been just what Rob have needed to try and secure that 4th place and get out of this battle behind. And you can see there just Nick really not managing to put any power down whatsoever. And Wrighton now moving up to the inside of Nick here as well. And yes, it looks like he has underfueled massively, but let's have a quick look as we watch the leaders now as they come up to the line on the final lap. Jason will have the inside line, but will the power of the Corvette and the slipstream be able to help Creasy at all as they come up to the line? Who will be able to take it? Jason just takes it on. No, Creasy took it. Creasy managed to get it on the line. What happened there? Creasy managed to take it on the line. Hippie there as well, coming across in 3rd place. Really good job for him. Disaster for Nick coming in 7th place there, as it looks like both Gad and Nick are running out of fuel on the line there, cutting it ever so finely, which means Wrighton inherits 5th place. Mikey managed to come in 8th. From this track, 9th. Never disappoints. Everybody says I'm crazy, but it always comes to play. It's always a great track for GR4. Ah, wow, what a great race. And we've still got 1 more to go. Hey. Definitely saving that replay. Congratulations. Let's have a quick look at the final standings there. Creasy managing to take it on the line there. We'll have to have a quick look back at that replay on the line, because I wonder, because Creasy was ahead just before the line, I wonder if Jason actually ran out of fuel going across the line. Because Jason was definitely ahead, but then it almost looked like it was either a lag spike or that. Very interesting to see. But again, a great race from Hippie as well, managing to secure that third place, managing to manage his fuel and tyres to perfection there. The alternative strat of making the medium tyres last a longer time there actually played to his advantage. Just managed to get a bit of clear air, clear track, and gunned it away in that Jag. And Rob, unfortunately, after the great first stint he had on them set of medium tyres, unfortunately didn't manage to make the softer tyres, and just got a bit caught up in the pits there. And again, as Rob's saying, the M4 is a thirsty bastard. It is indeed. So we have Gard coming in 6th place there with a very heated battle with Wrighton, who managed to just pit him on the line. But again, it looks like Gard and Nick both running out of fuel on the line there. Mikey not too far behind in the end, but again, just getting to grips with the McLaren there. A brand new car for them. A quick look. I'm pretty sure it's 15 minutes. It's meant to be. Well, actually, I'll have a quick look. So it's meant to be rolling start. Slipstream's real. That's fine. Race finish delay needs to be upped to a minute. So we've got grid start, race finish. And that's it, looks like. What was it again? And what was the other thing? Cool, with that. Good evening, GT Series. Hope you are well, my dude. You know what? While we're waiting, let's have a go ourselves, shall we? So, this is the second half of the race that we are going to be doing here. So, it is all a one make in the glorious but also not so glorious Lancer Evolution Gr4. So again, no tuning or anything like that. All the guys will be set to racing soft tyres, no fuel, no tyre wear, go as fast as you can. It is a reverse grid from what it previously is, and it's also going to be a rolling start as well. And with that, let's have a quick drive out for a couple of minutes before the start of this. Why is it? This is definitely a glitch I never thought of having. Oh my god, this is a glitch I never thought I'd have. Okay, so genuinely, I am not looking backwards. I have no control of where I'm looking. That's a glitch and a half. Never seen that one before. Hang on. So, let's have a quick look at this. Yeah. Right. Okay, cool. There we go. That's better. No, because it was fine. I have all control now. I'm not going to bother having my wheel or anything. It's only going to be a couple laps. Honestly, if I could have the, like, cars in real life would be this, if I could have one. Out of like a lot of different cars, the Evo 10 would be really much up there. We need to be a bit early on the brakes there, maybe about 125. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know what that was. I think it was just a glitch from when I had my replay camera on there. But for some reason, it wasn't bad when I actually went to do it there. But let's have a quick view. So, very late on the brakes here into T1. Looks like fourth gear might actually be the one to just carry that bit of momentum there. Not enough steering angle coming out of the first corner there, just clipping the wall on exit. Take a tightest line as possible coming through there. Down to third gear. Could have been a bit later on the brakes there. I can imagine the haptic feedback on this controller actually being very nice for a game like Gran Turismo compared to what I used to play like. Let's have another quick run of this. Oh, the understeer on this thing though. For some reason the understeer in this four-wheel drive car is the same as a front-wheel drive car, or what it feels like sometimes. God, it's so understeery. So understeery. As you can see, Rob in the classic red and white liveried there, with a GRT twist of course, but that's a lot better out of that one. That's a better lap. Looks like Jason's setting the early pace there with a 52.3. Let's see how close we can get to that. 49, 50, 51. Oh, just not managing to get enough there. There we go. Honk. Cool. Right, so we'll see starting soon. Before we get this underway, I will make sure I am not readied up. And let's check out some of these liveries, shall we? So, for the very similar looking orange bullets of Creasy and Jed, but look at how similar it is to Jason's there and Rocketman and Mike's livery. Lovely orange colour there. A very classic look from the from Rob there as well, going with the classic red and white colours of the old rally cars. As everybody decides to troll me in the chat. Right. God, that's a song I haven't heard in a while. £1 fish. Well, looks like we're not going yet. Come on, crazy man, what are you doing? See, if you'd started a second sooner, this would have all been fine. Just checking. See, Hippie now thundering it around, getting a little bit of practice in there. You can see the colour scheme continues. Just waiting on Danny now, as we have a very northeastern themed Evo here. None other by Wrighton. Wrighton's going to catch the Metro. Wrighton setting his fastest lap so far. Just going to try and see where Danny is. Where's Danny? There he is. Alright. Fair enough. Unfortunately, Danny is not returning. See a few guys doing donuts here. Mikey in the monster Evo 10. And again, remember, this is going to be a rolling start. This is no tyres, no fuel, all out racing. Let's go, as we see both the off-track overtakers in first and second place. Mikey going to be leading the field from Nick. Gard not far behind them. Wrighton in fourth place. Rob in fifth. Hippie in sixth. Jason in seventh. And Creasy in eighth position. One, and there we go. Away off the start line now. Coming into T1, let's see if there's any early moves made. Coming into T1, and it is lovely to look at these evolutions coming around here. To be honest, I think that part of the Lancer Evolution cars are like some of my all-time favourite cars, just in general, across like the entire range of them. Especially like 7 through 10. I love them ones. Here we go, coming across around the penultimate corner for the first time. Mikey leading from Nick. Gard in third place. Rob actually making up a bit of time there on the leaders, and is now closely in, well, he's now in hot pursuit of the three guys in front of him. Hippie and Wrighton again, nose to tail. Have to make sure that they don't lose any of this slipstream. Jason in 7th place, just maybe losing Creasy a bit there in the background. And it looks like Wrighton is now being put under pressure by Jason, sorry. Jason just slides around the inside there. Setting purple sectors, one after the other, hard at the brakes into the penultimate corner. Ooh, looks like Creasy might have just got it a bit wrong there, as both him and Wrighton go into the wall. As you can see now, Gard there also might have had a bit of an off into the wall there. Let's have a quick back look at that. You can see it's very close there between all of these guys here coming into... Oh, he actually hits the inside wall again. Very unfortunate for Gard. It's not the first time he's done this race, and now finds himself back in 6th place, not where he wanted to start. As they come into lap 3, as you can see now, Jason wanting to make up as much time as possible now, as he managed to pass Gard. He's also managed to pass Hippie now, going onto the inside. Jason at this early stage looking very comfortable in the Evo. However, this is a long race with still 12 and a bit minutes to go. So again, could be anybody's game here. So you can see now Rob actually manages to pull into first position. It looks like both Nick and Mikey there having a bit of trouble. Nick pulling across to the inside line there. Oh, looks like Rob actually managed to actually made a bit of a mistake there, going very wide there out of T1. You can see actually now that has allowed both Jason and Hippie to catch right back up to the rest of the pack there. Mikey now drops into 4th place after not getting a good run out of T1. Hippie passes him on the inside, and Jason now finds himself back up into 2nd place. So tries to make a move on the inside of Nick there. Ooh, look, a little bit of a touch of the wall from Rob there, but it looks like he has the momentum as he sweeps around the outside of Jason. Nick managing to hold his line there, and Hippie now finds himself up into 4th place as well. Great start from him, starting from 7th in the grid. Again, just biding his time there. Ooh, looks like a bit of a late move there by Rob. It looks like the slipstream is really affecting these things, even more so than the feature race, as all of these guys are really bunched together now. The top 4 separated by under half a second. Very close racing between all of these guys. Nick leading the way at the moment. Hippie setting a purple sector. It looks like Rob's going to try to make a move onto the inside of Nick very late on the brakes, but manages to judge it perfectly. Hippie into the wall, and it looks like Creasy managed to get into the wall as well there, with Jason just managing to creep up the inside there. But it looks like Nick will actually have the slipstream. Oh, but it looks like Rob actually managed to just close the gap enough to feed into the slipstream as well. Hippie just losing a bit of time there on the top 3, as now he is pressured by Mikey. But it doesn't look like Mikey will pose too much of a threat coming into the first corner again. Mikey maybe just looking to keep his nose clean for the moment, and maybe challenge later on in the race, but it looks like he actually managed to get a bit of a run on Hippie here. Going to be side by side coming through the lake section, as Creasy now has managed to make up some ground, is now on the back of the rest of the pack, and actually sets a purple sector. Ooh, it's going to be very close coming into T1. Ooh, look, massive contact. Massive contact there between Creasy and both of the off-track overtake, as it looks like. We'll have to have another look at that. Let's have a quick look at this. What the hell happened there? Looks like Creasy's just trying to pull on the inside there, and he's just tagged Mikey as he goes through. And unfortunately, he's just managed to tag both of the off-track overtakers there. Absolute disaster for these guys, and I think Creasy really should be trying to wait for both Nick and Mikey there. He was the cause of that from what it looked like, but no doubt there will be an investigation into that after the race, and unfortunately the off-track overtakers are at the back of the grid yet again, unfortunately, after that incident. And it now looks like because of that as well, Jason has actually managed to break the slipstream now, as they round the final corner again for the god knows how many times now, as they come up to just under 9 minutes of this race remaining. Rob and Hippie nose to tail now. These two might not want to challenge as much though in this race, as they do want to try and catch Jason back up here. Jason doing an excellent job of commanding that Evo, starting from second last on the grid and already managing to move up into first place for the moment. Going to be very interesting to see how this plays out as we have a look at the battle behind. Wright and Gard once again going at it, following on from their battles in the feature race. Creasy right behind them as well, looking to pick up any scraps. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between the two, but I think that couldn't have been avoided there. Both the drivers just going there, and as I mentioned just before as well, Creasy just looking to pick up any scraps, and he goes through on the inside of both Gard and Wrighton there, catching them both by surprise. And it looks like Nick is just hovering in the background there, managing to gain a little bit of time onto these. It looks like Gard moves to the inside. Will he be able to keep the line? Very defensive, very tight on the inside there, but Creasy getting an excellent run and using the traction of the Evo to his advantage. And would you look at this as well? Look at Rob and Hippie. Look at the pace they've managed to turn on all of a sudden. Purple laps for the both of them now, as they've now caught right up to the back of Jason. Great driving from both Rob and Hippie not to challenge themselves too much, and have now caught right up to the back of Jason, and hopefully for the both of them they are in the slipstream range, and it looks like they are, as Rob starts to reel the time in massively on Jason in front. This is exactly what these two needed, and it looks like we will have a proper showdown for first place now. But for the moment, let's have a quick look back on the battle for fourth place now. A four-way battle for fourth. You can't make this stuff up. And it looks like Hippie's actually managed to move up on the inside of Rob coming out of the first corner there. Again, both of these two still in the slipstream range are doing a very good job of battling, but still maintaining the pace of Jason in front, so he manages to keep in the slipstream range and keep themselves in the fight for the win. Again, to the pack behind them now. Looks like Gard has just managed to get a bit of a run on Jason there as he moves to the outside of Creasy there, sorry. The two orange liveries really throwing me off at this point of the championship so far, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Thank you very much, GT Series. I appreciate it. I try my best. But enough about that. Let's have a quick look at the action. Ooh, looks like Creasy just tries to take a bit more than he can chew there. Just turning a little bit into Gad where he probably shouldn't have there. But again, just keep hounding away at him. But again, it looks like the race has developed into two different packs now, as it looks like Hippie has now moved in for the kill and he's now managed to take the lead. Let's have a quick look at this. Managing to make use of the slipstream now, and he actually pulls to the inside, coming into the penultimate corner, and manages to just make his way through now. Great driving from Hippie, and he now maintains the lead after the first straight as Rob also moves through. Great driving from both of these two veterans of GRT. It's an understatement of the century. An excellent race by both Hippie and Rob there, inheriting first and second place, doing an excellent job of catching back up to Jason there. But it is not over yet, as there is just under 5 minutes of the race remaining. Let's have a quick look behind them now, as it looks like Gard has actually managed to move ahead of both Creasy and Nick there. So Nick actually managed to inherit 6th place. Managed to make a great recovery drive here and is now on the back of the 4th place battle. Wrighton just looks to have dropped a little bit off the pace now, and he actually looks to have dropped out of slipstream range, as we now have a 3-way battle for first coming into the first corner there. Rob and Jason going on the inside, and it's a double cutback for Hippie. An extraordinary move from your beautiful pink bastard. We'll have to have a look at that again, surely. Come on. Look at this cutback move. See them coming on the inside, and a very wide line there, timing it just to perfection and managing to get that cutback there. An amazing double cutback move from Hippie there, and a great job as he still maintains that first position. And will he manage to do it again? I think Rob and Jason will be wise to his move yet again, but let's have a quick look now coming into T1. Rob doesn't make a challenge so far. He doesn't want to lose any more time to Jason behind him. He knows that this is going to be still a long battle with still 4 or 5 laps left of this race, so it's still all to play for. And it looks like Gad and Creasy now are also battling for 4th place. And remember, these all add up to the total Constructors' Championships as well as the Drivers' Championships as well. So it's still all to play for in this one make event. As it now looks like Nick has actually fallen back into the clutches of Wrighton now. And it looks like we have 3 separate battles going on throughout the entire track, and this is great stuff from all of these guys here today. And it looks like Hippie still maintaining his lead coming across the line with what looks to be 3, maybe 4 laps remaining now. Jason going for a move on the inside, doesn't manage to quite get the overspeed there on Hippie, but does manage to take Rob in the process. This will all come down to the final straight and the final passes if nothing happens from these guys. Great stuff so far. And look at the driving here, nose to tail from all 3 of these guys, and Jason just clips the wall there on exit. It actually allows Rob just to pull a little bit ever closer to him, might mount a challenge into T1 here, but they both have the slipstream on Hippie. Will Hippie go defensive? Doesn't look like he wants to go defensive just yet. So we take a look back now at both Gr and Creasy. Creasy still just biding his time on Gr, doing exactly the same thing as he did to Jason in the first race, and just biding his time until the last couple of laps to make that move. He's playing it really smart racing here from Creasy, and it is really nice to see, as he actually has managed to get a little bit more of a cutback on this time around from Creasy, and has just slotted up the inside of Gr there. Let's have a quick look into the penultimate corner there. Again, nose to tail from all three of these guys. This is great racing from all three. Rob manages to get the position back from Jason coming across the lake section. And depending on what time they cross the line, this might be 2 extra laps. Yes, it might be. It might be 2 extra laps of this race that they're going to have to battle through. Ooh, looks like maybe a little bit of contact there coming into T1, but Rob just manages to keep it clean. But again, Hippie with a cutback move. Does he manage to do it again? Yes, he does. An excellent cutback move yet again from Hippie, but Jason is even more on the inside of Hippie this time, but doesn't pose a threat so far. It's great stuff here from all of these guys. Hard onto the brakes, coming into the penultimate corner yet again. And this will be the decider, folks. All comes down to this. But for the meantime, while these guys are going down the straight, let's have a quick look back at the battles for 4th and 6th position. Looks like Gr has actually managed to make a bit of a gap on Creasy. But the question is, will he have to do one more lap? These guys come across the line, and this will be the final lap for them. But the first person to come across the line and take the 4th place of the race will be Gr, followed by Creasy, followed by Nick just beats Wrighton on the line. Incredibly close from these two guys. And Mikey, unfortunately, after the first couple lap incident, unfortunately finishes in 8th place. But the battle still rages on. Jason just in front. Oh, and it looks like Hippie actually managed to clip the inside wall. Disaster for Hippie on the final lap here as Rob managed to move up the inside of Jason, coming on to the final corner here. Looks like Hippie has actually managed to get a great run on both of these guys here. Will Rob be able to hold on, or will either of these two manage to displace him coming across the line? It's going to be very close as they come up to the run of the line. Who's going to take it? It's gonna be Jason who takes it just away from Rob. 9 thousandths of a second there separating the two drivers. Hit of a second. An amazing time there from all three of them guys. An amazing race from all three. And congratulations to Jason there, managing to time the second race to perfection that time, and just replicates what Creasy did to him on the first race there. Great job by all three of them guys in 1st, 2nd and 3rd to take home the points there. And as I once said, and Jason also taking the fastest lap of the race there with a 51.6, an amazing time. But remember, this is without fuel or tyres. Right, let's all just take a breather as we now reflect on what's just happened and take one final look at the standings for the one-make race. Jason, an excellent job coming in 1st place there. 9 thousandths of a second separating both him and Rob in 2nd place. Hippie, a great job there. Unfortunately, just made a tiny mistake on the last lap there, hitting the inside of the lake run there. Really unfortunate for him, but managing to take home a great amount of points. 2 podium positions for Hippie. He'll be very pleased about that as well. Gr coming in 4th place as well, managing to make amends from the first race he had, where he probably wasn't quite up where he would have liked to be, but coming home with a great 4th place, and that's great points for both him and Hippie in this race. Creasy unfortunately not managing to replicate his great win in the first race, but the points from the first race will still make him very much in the runnings and very near the top, because the points for the feature race are more than what the one make race is. However, it's still all to play for at this stage of the race. Great job by Nick as well, just to hold on there and manage to recover from the earlier incident, to just beat out Wrighton there. And unfortunately, Mikey being tangled up in that incident there. unfortunately just managed to miss out this time around. Oh, wow, great stuff from all of these guys here. Amazing to watch. But yes, congratulations to all the winners here tonight, and that is the racing done. Great stuff here from all of these guys tonight, and it's only 9:15 on a Sunday. What? Usually we're finishing at like 11 o'clock at night. Imagine that, actually having time to do stuff after a league race. Christ, unheard of on a Sunday. But again, that's some great stuff from all of these guys. Again, here today, I've made sure I have saved both replays this time so I can check back for any incidents. So don't worry, I've actually saved it. So actually using my brain and remembering things for a change. But yes, thank you very much to all the guys who completed the racing there. And you know what? Let's look at some replays. Let us look at some replays. And you know the best thing about this is, it's going to be so quick and speedy to loading up all of this. It's going to be great. So, first race. Interesting feature race. And again, it's a very simple circuit, but you can just see how the little errors at this circuit cost it even more because it is so short. Yeah, I thought that might have been the case, Hippie, to be honest. But a little bit unfortunate for yourself there, but hey. So with that, let's have a quick look at the starts then. So we'll just have a quick look back from Jason's view at the start. And there you go, and look at the start that Rob managed to get there. Great start by Rob in the M4. But Jason still just managed to have the edge on Rob there, hugging the inside line as much as possible and managed to keep his position there. It was unlucky, Rob, but hey, great race, good second place for yourself. It was just unfortunate that the M4 was so thirsty as well, but that's a great overtake. I missed that one at the start. Look, let's have a quick look at that one again. I didn't even see that overtake at the start of that race. Look at this, as late as you're dead on the brakes and sweeping around the out. Fair play to you for that one. Great stuff. Let's just skip forward a little bit here. So you can see Jason again, cut back move of the first corner as it usually is at this circuit. You can see Creasy there just in the background managing to maintain his position. Very smart driving from Creasy today as well, just to stay behind a lot of these drivers and just really be considerate on the tyres and fuel, and he managed to make it work really well at this circuit today. Again, with these sort of races, the first race in the championship, you really do just want to feel things out, to be honest. Creasy just to feel it out and come home with a great result. And you can see how these three drivers just managed to break away from the rest of the pack here. They're just very clean, very consistent, and just didn't battle as much as they maybe wanted to in the end. But you can just see how safe they were in all of these moves, just feeding into one each other and just keeping up the pace at this early stage of the race. You can see both Hippie and Gard just struggling there with the penultimate corner at this early stage of the race. But let's have a quick look further on. So you can see Nick making a move down the inside there. All of the overtakes, because I have a feeling I'm going to be just on this the entire night if I try and look for all the overtakes. Good job by Nick there though as well. Ooh, you can see Rob and Creasy there just getting it a bit wrong. You can actually see he short shifted a bit too much there as well, and really should have tried and maybe kept up that little bit more of acceleration just to make sure he maintained the draft here. That's why he ended up a little bit further back than he might have wanted to, Creasy. But still, we all know how that result went, and he still drove a magnificent race, and maybe it was that fuel saving that kept him in it, who knows. He was incredibly close in the end to Jason, so maybe that little extra bit of fuel saving actually came in handy in the end, you never know. Yeah, I was going to say the Corvette and the Stang are like really quick in a straight line, but you'll definitely have the advantage at some other tracks, Rob, compared to the Mustang and the Corvette, because the Mustang, although it is very quick in a straight line, it is not good on its tyres, and it's not the best around corners. It is very understeery like the Evo. You can see Nick there just pulling a move on both of the Jaguars. And let's skip a bit further ahead to the pit stops now, shall we? There's a great battle between these guys here during the midpoint of the race. Wrighton managed to get, we can actually see, yeah, as well. I just wanted to, a bit curious to see if there's any contact between this here, but I don't think there was. No, Nick just turned in very, very late. And both the Jaguars just managed to get on through. Unfortunate for Nick, but he did manage to recover well. And still just kept with the pace at this stage of the race. So, let's have a quick look. Let's keep fast forwarding it up into the first pit stops. There we go. So you can see actually now the difference between, what was the gap between Gard and, so there's actually a pretty substantial gap between Gard and Danny coming into the pits. It's an incredibly long pit stop time in this track, surprisingly. But you can see now, as they both come out the pits, they actually come out at the same time. It's a great job by Danny and great strategy by him to make sure that that he managed to come out with in behind Gard there. So you can see Creasy and Wrighton pulling into the pits together there, leaving the rest of the leaders to go on as well. You can see Gard managing just to pull out a bit more of a gap on Danny there, but again I think that's just a straight line speed of both the Jag and the Mustang compared to the 86. Unfortunately the 86 is a slow car in a straight line. Oh, it looks like Danny unfortunately just messed up a little bit just coming into that. So let's have a quick look at that. It might have just been the brakes coming into that. He might have just got a little bit too late on the brakes there. Yeah, for some reason it just looked like the brakes didn't work for that last part. Very odd. Oh, it's really unfortunate for Danny there. Really unfortunate for Danny there, and he didn't. But you can see how much he managed to come out on Mikey there, as both Rob and Jason came into the pits now. But you can see actually, like, both Rob and Jason came in together, very like together, but Jason only put in 70 litres of fuel. But Rob put in so much fuel. Rob put in a full tank of fuel, so I'm curious to see how much fuel Rob had left at the end of the race. Because that looks like a massive overfuel from the M4, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But you can actually see the times from Hippie as well. This has actually managed to make the strategy work for him. Because look at the times that Hippie's managing to get at this stage of the race. Like, they're pretty much identical as to what he would be getting if he was racing in the pack as well. So yeah, he actually managed to make this strategy work incredibly well here. And again, you can see, just coming across the line here, I believe he actually does a personal fastest lap of the race for him. Oh no, not quite, but still, 53.2, a great lap by that. Great consistent times by Hippie, managing to make this set of tyres work for him, and as he came into the pits there. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite close enough to challenge either Jason or Creasy there. But you can actually see a move from Nick here as well, as we showed earlier on in the replay. Just sweeping around the outside there, great move from Nick. But you can just see the McLaren just fell away slightly at this later stage of the race. Let's skip forward a little bit. And it was really unfortunate that he didn't quite manage to have enough fuel. He did look like he had a lot less fuel compared to everybody else, did Nick? And you can afford to do that in the McLaren, to be honest. So it's definitely not out of the question or what Nick's strategy was, because you definitely can underfuel in the McLaren and save quite a lot. So he has done a good thing there, Nick. It's just unfortunate he just didn't quite have enough fuel at the end of the race. I think it was just a couple more laps. Just an extra lap of fuel and that would have been absolutely fine, but hey. And that was pretty much it to the end there. Let's see if we can spot the moment when both Nick and Gad go, oh shit. I don't know how many laps are left in this race. It's not quite yet. Not dropping off any time too much yet, and that's when Hippie just managed to pull away. I actually want to have a look at the end of this race here to see what happened at the end. Yeah, really unfortunate for Nick. Again, just poor connection quality. Oh dear. Huh. That's something new. It came up with an error saying poor connection quality. So you can only just hear my voice. That's not something wrong with your connection, anybody, just out of interest. That's nothing to do with your connection. Apparently that's just my internet, which is fun. So you don't need to adjust your phones or computers or whatever you're doing on that, if you can still hear me, of course. It says you can hear me. Whether you actually can or not, I don't know. Well, I think on that note, so yeah, actually, out of interest, let's just have a quick look. I just want to see this for myself as well. You can see Jason just coming across the line there. Did Jason run out of fuel on the line? He did! Oh, I can't believe that. Jason just ran out of fuel. I mean, I wish I could see this, but for some reason, next week I am going to postpone because of the Euro 2020 final next week, because to be honest, I kind of want to watch that as well, and it starts at 8 and it's going to coincide like completely with the racing. So this will be postponed for one more week. Again, I know there's been a lot of postpones recently with the league, but hey ho, we'll be fine. So this will be postponed next week, and then we'll continue the week after with the next event. And I'm good as a league host because I can't remember what that race is, but I will find out because it's probably in the info. But with that, if you can still hear me, great. But if not, we're going to leave that there, and I'll see if I can sort my internet issue out for next time. So yeah, with that, catch you later, everybody.